omwina akwaba at the bank assertive native for oya 4-6 regulation who sensema na egusua ye twe ho esrani abasa biti se ayo kaikwe central tema central na de adete for umguso moka ho asem ewo aye the Accra High Court na ye NPP amanyuku no erezi aye mandamus application elikot so aye judge penini nim sinti no monhwe na sensema ekoso no no mu hu de atifo SSA omoye na hono ma na atifo aye NDC amanyuku so sade aye preliminary objections so sa eba abonten atifo yansem ketwa na judge na aye court sound so tenase bim ehwe aye preliminary objection a aye NDC amanyuku led by aye lawyer Edudzi Tamaklo edebaye no na aye judge ebo tuguye atifo na yansem ketwa na atifo ene aye NDC amanyuku led by aye lawyer Edudzi Tamaklo ede evidence about bonten videos ni audio ni sensem atifo yansem ketwa a kire sentino aye for constituencies no aye regulation sensem course native when na atifo AEC officers ni here against the NDC party anu tia sem bipine kuno kutie sema atifo course o the Accra High Court and after reaction afi NPP amanyuku lawyers edebaye medamu
there are certain conditions that ought to be met. First, there has to be a demand to the body you are requiring them to make that to perform that duty, and that demand should be clear and unequivocal. They say that at common law as well, the body should have refused not to perform that function before you can come back. You can actually go to court for a mandamus application, and they argue that the letters exhibited by the NPP does not show anywhere that they made a specific demand to the Electoral Commission to actually collate the results, and they don't see any rejection also on the part of the Electoral Commission, and so that condition precedent in the words of the lawyer for the NDC, Godwin Tamaklo, then the court cannot entertain the mandamus application. He also goes to say that declaration has been done, and he put out videos of the 4 candidates in these constituencies being declared. He says they believe that the declaration has happened, and once the declaration has happened, the election has been concluded. The powers of the court to enter into it can only be through an election petition. He believes that the NPP's case is to question the veracity of the declarations, which he believes goes into the substance of an election petition. And so he, one way or the other, re-argues the preliminary objection that he had brought to court earlier. And based on all these, he's urging on the court to dismiss the applications and he's urging on the court to dismiss the applications, and also then by so doing, then what it means is that the NPP or the Electoral Commission cannot go back and do the collation. He's saying that if the NPP really has any issues whatsoever with the declarations that have been done and the results, then they now have to come back to court by way of a petition. And so after 6 hours, the court decided that it would take 2 days to review the arguments, to read the relevant laws that have been cited, and then hopefully on Saturday, January 4, 2025, the judge has given an indication that he'll give a ruling on the matter.
NDC's Director of Legal Affairs, Godwin Edudzi, let's attempt to speak to him. Well, we can understand since the court is here to pronounce its ruling, they are yet to speak to us. You're shocked at what you can hear. Some NDC supporters singing there. Well, you can hear supporters of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, singing and chanting here. I think we see the Ablekuma North parliamentary candidate for the party here. Let's attempt to get a word from him.
Throughout the proceedings, you heard the argument, the lawyers made the case for you. What do you feel now? You have to come back on Saturday to know your fate. You're about 2 or 3 days before the swearing in. How does that feel?
Delay is not denial. I mean, we were all in the courtroom. It's been 6 hours of sitting. And no matter how the NPP decide to twist and turn issues, we are all privy to events. So I have no doubt that the will of the people will still stand.
Are you satisfied with arguments raised on your behalf?
Our council is doing a brilliant job. I mean, the whole team are doing a brilliant job.
Thank you very much. NDC is a parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma North. We have the parliamentary candidate for Kaikwe Central, Baba Sadiq, here. Let's hear from him as well.
Yes, I've always been confident that it will be affirmed. We're hopeful. Let's see how Saturday goes. We wait for the ruling on Saturday. But we're very confident that with the case that we put before the judge and the strength of the authorities we cited, I mean, this shows that this will be affirmed.
But how did you take the preliminary objection that was overruled by the courts earlier?
Well, you can only be grateful to the courts when the decision was made. A bit surprising, but however, we are grateful to the court. And then obviously we saw how we advanced our case, which meant that we were very prepared from the get-go. And so on the basis of how we advance our case, I think that we can only expect a very good outcome on Saturday afternoon.
The argument has been made that only 110 polling stations were declared out of 148, and that's 78%. Were declared in your constituency, for which reason you were declared MP elect, and that should not be allowed to stand.
But what was the basis in the first place? I mean, the EC, the returning officer or the EC can't just unilaterally decide to declare just a few polling stations instead of the total polling stations. There was a particular reason. What was the particular reason? When we sat together with our opponents, together with the EC officials, and went through it polling station by polling stations, both of us, all of us, identified that the 31 polling stations, there was a challenge. What was the challenge? The challenge was that figures had been swapped, and that was the point that we made. I have made the point severally that we don't create pink sheets. The pink sheets that's given to us, it's from the EC. And so there is a famous saying from our opponents where they make a case. I think it was Dr. Bamia that said that the evidence is on the face of the pink sheet. I have a pink sheet from you as EC. And from EC, the figures on the pink sheet that you've given to me shows that I've won in 31 polling stations. And if these 31 polling stations is added to the 110, it puts me ahead and I beat my opponent to 2,352. You know, a gap of 2,352. However, during the collation, we find out that the figures that is coming from the collation are different. So this is what we pointed out, you know, and it's surprising the stance they're taking because my opponent's agents were in the room at the time and they had agreed. In fact, the suggestion, from what I understand, came from them. I didn't initially agree that the 31 police stations be set aside because I knew that this was my numbers. I was going to be disadvantaged, you know. So, I mean, it wasn't a case. We still stand that. I mean, if the 31 police stations with the pink sheet that we have given to us by the EC is anything to go by, we would have won the election. Would won the election, in fact, you know. And if it comes to Kaikwe Central, for instance, there are some police stations that the NDC has never ever won in these police stations. This time around in 2024, we won a number of these police stations. Interestingly, whilst everybody is there, pink sheet shows that you've won. You come to collation and the figures has been swapped. You know, and so that's the point that we made during the collation. Before the EC themselves, they have their own